Hello, everybody. Tate Davis here with another album battle for you. How's everybody doing? This one's a fun one. Featuring one gentleman who both of the very popular bands that he was in, a gentleman by the name of Sir Paul McCartney. You might have heard of him before. In one corner, we have the Beatles. Let It Be from 1970, released in May of 1970. In the other corner, we have Mr. McCartney's other band, Wings, Back to the Egg from 1979. Ironically, both of the last albums by both bands that he was in. So this is going to be a little bit of a fun battle today. So, in this corner right here, we have the Let It Be, or the Beatles with Let It Be. So obviously featuring Paul McCartney on bass and vocals, John Lennon on guitar and vocals, George Harrison on lead guitar and vocals, and Ringo Starr on drums and vocals. This was originally supposed to be titled Get Back. The Beatles were supposed to kind of record a Back to Basics album after the experimentation that the studio experimentation that they embarked upon with their last couple of releases. They started production of this movie and album in early 1969, and they did the rooftop concert that year as well, January of '69, or that month as well, January of '69, and they later shelved it because George Martin wanted to work with them again, but he wanted them to do sort of an experimental album, as they had done prior. So they started work on Abbey Road, and this didn't really see the light of day until early 1970, when John Lennon by that point had already left, and George, Paul, and Ringo went in to go record I Me Mine, which I believe would be the last song that any incarnation of the Beatles would ever record up until the early 90s, the Free as a Bird and Real Love songs for the anthology in the early 90s. Eventually, I forget how exactly, I think their manager, Alan Klein, wanted to release it and had Phil Spector come in and do all sorts of overdubs and stuff like that with string instruments, and McCartney wasn't a big fan of that because that kind of defeated the whole purpose of it, and there's all sorts of books you can read. I'm just sort of reciting this information from what I've read, to the best of my ability. I didn't have any notes prepared or anything, so I may get some stuff wrong, but that's sort of a good general idea of what happened. But anyway, the result was this album that was released in May of 1970, after the Beatles had officially called it quits. Critically, maybe not the most well received. This kind of divided the critics and the fan base when this came out. A lot of people said that this was sort of a disappointment for the Beatles to go out on, but nonetheless, it still sold a bunch. So opening up, we have so a lot of these songs were recorded with at the rooftop concert. So opening up with Two of Us, which is a great acoustic little ditty featuring some great dual vocals by Paul and John. One of my favorites on the album follows that, Dig a Pony, with some great harmonies there. Also great, really precise Ringo Starr drumming on that too. Across the Universe, beautiful John Lennon pen song. I Me Mine, another one of my favorites off this album. One of my favorite songs by George Harrison too. Dig It, which was kind of a little snippet from a jam that they recorded in the studio. The title track, Let It Be, big hit for the band. Great McCartney vocal on that. Great Ringo Starr vocal on that. And then Maggie May, which is an old traditional English folk tune that I think they were just kind of messing around with in the studio. That kind of got tacked on a bit. Side 2 is where things really, really hit home for me. Opening up with I've Got a Feeling, recorded at the rooftop concert. Great vocals by Paul on that. Great drumming by Ringo. John Lennon kind of throws his verse in there with everybody had a hard year, everybody had a good time. Really good there. The one after 909, which is a great 50s Little Richard type tune. The long and winding road, great McCartney pen ballad there, For You Blue, which I actually wrote an arrangement of for my community college jazz band, because I was really digging it, and I thought it would make for a good jazz arrangement, and it worked. Which is a George Harrison pen tune, really laid back acoustic 12-bar blues tune, really good there, and then closing it off with Get Back, recorded at the rooftop concert. So overall, my favorite Beatles album, because there are some songs on here that really, really hit home for me. Look at that awesome album cover. 4 guys there, so that's really good. As is this one. Paul McCartney and Wings. Back to the Egg. A really, really cool album cover with Paul and Linda and Denny Lane and all the boys looking down at Earth from a spaceship. Not too dissimilar to the Who's It's Hard album cover. So, around this time, Wings had kind of had gotten off the heels of the Wings Over America live album, and they did a tour of the UK, or they released the London Town album, and after that some of the members of the classic lineup left, and in came some new guys, and they did one tour of the UK, and we're going to go tour Japan in early 1980, but McCartney got busted for marijuana possession, and the whole tour canceled, and then eventually he disbanded the band after that, and that was the end of Wings. So so the personnel on this album, so obviously you got Paul McCartney on bass, vocals, and some guitars here. Linda McCartney on keyboards and backing vocals. Denny Lane on guitar. Kind of those three were the mainstays of the band. And then Steve Holley on drums, the great Steve Holley. And then Lawrence Juber on guitar, coming in and replacing Jimmy McCulloch. A great guitar player, Lawrence Juber is. I'm not Yoda. So, opening up with side 1 on the Sunny Side Up album, or Sunny Side Up side of the album, we have Reception, which is sort of a little cool intro there, and then Getting Closer, great song there. We're Open Tonight, another great tune. Spin It On, one of my favorite songs on the album. You know, Paul and the boys kind of doing a really punky type tune. Great drumming by Steve Holley on that. Great song. Again and Again and Again, which is a great Denny Lane sung song. And my personal favorite on the album, Old Siam Sir. In the village with Old Siam Sir. You know, just one of my favorite Wings songs of all time. This may be the best song on the album. Great vocals by Paul on this. Great drumming by Steve Holley. Great riff by Lawrence Juber and Denny Lane. I don't know who actually plays the riff on that, but a great song. A great song. If you get nothing else from this video, go, and you're not a big Wings fan, go look up Old Siam Sir by Wings. It is an awesome song. And then closing off side 1, another awesome song that should have been a big hit for the band. Don't know why it was. Arrow Through Me. Really great R&B type tune. Side 2, the Rockestra theme, where Paul had all sorts of a who's who of British rock musicians come in. So you had like David Gilmour and Pete Townsend and Kenny Jones, John Bonham, John Paul Jones, and some other folks all playing on this song. To You, another great song. After the Ball / A Million Miles, cool. Winter Rose / Love Awake, really great, another R&B type tune with some great vocals by Paul. The Broadcast, which is kind of a little TV recording interlude there. So Glad to See You Here, another really great hard rocker on this track featuring the members of the Rockestra. And then ending it off with Baby's Request, which is a great little ballad there sung by Paul. So the album was recorded at Spirit of Ranacan Studios in Scotland, Linden Castle in Kent, Replica Studios in London, EMI Studios in London, produced by Paul McCartney and Chris Thomas, who I believe also worked with the Beatles, if I'm not mistaken. So overall, a very strong album to go out on. A very underrated album, probably in my top 3 favorite Wings albums. It kind of flip-flops between this one and Band on the Run and Venus and Mars. So, when you put the two, for me anyway, when you put the two beside one another and you're kind of comparing and you're kind of wondering which one you want to take to a desert island with you, this one's a hard one because I thoroughly enjoy these albums quite a bit. These are my favorite albums from each of the two famous bands that Paul McCartney was in. But if I had to pick one, I'm not going to tie it up here. There are some there are some tremendous songs on this. There really are. Old Cyan, Sir, Spin It On, Arrow Through Me, So Glad to See You Here. But it would be really, really hard for me to go against the Beatles. So the Beatles are going to win. This is a really close one here, folks, because this really does mean a lot to me. But it'd be a travesty not to go against the Beatles here. So the Beatles won this one. If you like this better, that's fine. We all hear these things differently. So in the comments below, pick one. Pick whichever one you like better. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.